Seattle Seahawks seem to be stuck in mediocrity, as you can see from their 2024 record, 10-7, and it feels like they're the Steelers of the NFC at this point. Just they'll get a winning record, but they won't do anything in the postseason if they even make it. And as you can see from the 2025 NFL rankings, 28th in passing, 30th in rushing, 19th in blocking, 31st in pass rush, 10th in coverage, and 19th in team speed, which, I think they did address a lot of this, which we'll break down in depth. But you see the pass rush at 31. I don't know how much better it really got. Coverage at 10th, and there's a reason for that. Tariq Woolen and Devon Witherspoon are very, very good. Passing wise, they might take a step back this year, but they did add some pieces on the O-line. Word is out that Mike McDonald has been fired because he wasn't getting it done for them. They want someone that's going to come in and change the culture right away, and that is where Cam Chancellor comes in. Extremely excited to see what the former Seahawk and Legion of Boom safety can do as the Seattle Seahawks' new head coach. Housekeeping things before we start. We will be using some interesting settings. We're using Sim Gaming Network settings and franchise settings, sliders, whatever, so I will link all of those videos and his channel in the description below. And we're also going to be using auto progress players because I think it makes it very organic how they progress. Now, for coach, Cam Chancellor is in as the coach. As the Pete Carroll era obviously over. He's in Vegas now, and the defense of this team is not where they once were. If you think back to the Legion of Boom, not the worst defense in the league at all. They have some solid pieces, but Cam Chancellor's coming in. He doesn't care about the offense that much. I mean, he does, but the offense already has some solid pieces to build around, as well as the defense. But, Seattle, in their history, is known as the Legion of Boom, and he's here to bring that back. So we will be looking for heavy hitters in the draft. And, we might as well start breaking down this team, starting with the big off-season storyline. Geno Smith goes elsewhere. Who do you replace him with? And you kind of replace him with a similar player and story, Sam Darnold. And Darnold, of course, looked quite good here for Minnesota, but you're concerned that that was because he was carried by the super team. But I'll tell you, it is hard to put up 4,000 plus yards and then say, oh, he was carried by a super team. Fine and Drew Lock. We know what Lock is by now. But the big story, Jalen Milroe. This is a guy who third round pick, middle of that third round. And he honestly has some very nice physical tools. 93 speed, 93 acceleration, 92 throw power. Obviously, some of the other things aren't there, but he definitely is fast. He can throw it. You might notice he has star dev in this save file. That's because we are on Octagonal Gaming's roster. And that's changing some depth traits. So guys like Cooper Kupp go from superstar to normal, Walker superstar to stars, but you know, Arroyo and Milrow both get star dev, so there's some trade-offs in there. It just, I took some liberty as well, but mostly followed his roster. Guys like Lawrence down there as well, but not to get too sidetracked. Now, quarterback can only be as good as his receivers in some sense. Obviously, there are two different types of quarterbacks: a quarterback that elevates the players around him, and a quarterback that is elevated by the players around him. And I think Sam Darnold is the latter of those two options. But he has JSN in his third year. Madden finally got him a face scan, which is important to me. Just a details guy. But JSN has really nice hands, can run with the best of them. I mean, he's not like Tyreek Hill or Xavier Worthy by any means, but he certainly has wheels on him. Of Ohio State, of course, Cooper Kupp on this team. He'll be fun for one season, but I just don't see a long term. He's a guy that does rely a bit on his physicals, which what receiver doesn't. And the main reason for bringing him from superstar down to normal is for regression purposes. I think his time is nearly up in the league as a top tier guy. I mean, he's certainly not going to be a top tier guy, but as kind of like a fringe top 30 receiver, I think that's coming to an end. MVS, as a Chiefs fan, I've seen the worst and some of the best. But the really only exciting young piece outside of JSN is Torrey Horton, the Colorado State. And you'll notice a common theme. These guys are all deep threats. So that's obviously a bit concerning. 5th round pick, though, good value. Below him, I mean, I could not talk about Jake Bobo. He was the preseason talk of the town. But, I mean, in terms of Madden, there's just not much there. But we'll go a bit more in the depth later on. In the trenches, well, the players that the trenches will be blocking for: Kenneth Walker, 24 in the base roster, a superstar. We moved him down to star because he's really good, but I really don't consider him to be a superstar. Health has been an issue for sure. The former 2nd round pick has certainly lived up to the hype, and the hope is he is the franchise guy for the series. But Zach Charbonnet is very good as well. Their power back maybe can be a 3rd down back for us. I know it's kind of weird because archetype in this game, I really don't necessarily agree with him. Damian Martinez, though, they went out, picked him up. I mean, the issue with him is you're a power back, more so focused guy that got drafted on a team with 2 guys that can be power backs that are young. Martinez, I will do my best to get involved, but it might be difficult. Charles Cross, 24, as we move on to this O-line. 87 pass block is great. I really don't see why he can't be here for the long haul. But on the other side, Abraham Lucas is a bit more questionable. Yeah, he's only 26 with star, but he's only a 76 overall. And 26 turns into 27, 28 really quickly. And if you can't be in like the mid 80s by 27, 28, will you ever get there, right? So Anthony Bradford at right guard. A lot of concerns there. 73 overall. And of course, I'm going over this in terms of Madden. Got Christian Haynes behind him, who may be a bit more balanced. Is 25 with only 1 year of experience. That's kind of concerning. Olusegun Oluwatimi. Hopefully didn't butcher that. Is not a starting center, but is starting for us, which is beyond concerning to me. And I'm sure the rating concerns everyone else. Gray Zabel, though, out of North Dakota State. We hope this is the real deal at guard. I will say Madden's draft classes this year are juiced with guards, but I think that's because it's hard to develop guard, and they honestly, a lot of them come in and play good right away. So if you draft an 80 overall guard, right, it's going to be hard unless you really focus on development. It's going to be hard to develop him and do a high overall, even if he starts at an 80, unlike these other positions where you just stack receiving yards. Now, tight end. Elijah Owoyo, I think, is a very nasty prospect. 6'5", 254 out of Miami. One of the few players at Miami that I think helped make Cam Ward look as good as he did. And what I mean by that is I think Cam Ward elevated that roster. And Arroyo certainly got elevated, but he was one of the few guys that also helped elevate the play of Cam Ward. AJ Barner on here, 23, 67 overall. There could be something there with Barner, but Arroyo is going to be the main focus. Probably a guy we focus on in training camp and in these other focus players throughout the week. Now, defensively, we're not going to spend a lot of time because there's just a lot of veterans for the most part. But corner is something we can be excited about. Devon Witherspoon and Tariq Woolen, both exceptional players. Pat Griffin, Pritchett, Hall. That's just not going to be the winning formula at cornerback 3. So top 2 corners, very elite, but who's going to play in the slot really for us? Because I feel like Woolen and Witherspoon, they're just too fast and athletic, lengthy to put in the slot. Safety, sticking with DBs here. Julian Love, I think, is very good. If you don't think of him when you think of safeties, I want to be surprised because he's just kind of underrated. But we're not going to underrate him here. I think he could be a franchise guy. We're trying to rebuild the Legion of Boom, Cam Chancellor. Don't know if he necessarily fits that. Nick Emanwari, probably butchered that as well. I really like him with South Carolina. Again, there's Cam Chancellor, the new head coach here. Really like him as a Legion of Boom potential guy. Kobe Bryant behind him. There will be a battle to start there. Probably move Kobe Bryant up for preseason just so we get more the rookie. Leonard Williams, you saw him in the trailer. Make a big play. He's going to make a lot of those for us. He's really good. Probably add some traits to him. So he plays to that level. But outside of him, you've got some older guys, Hankins, Jaron Reed. Like, this guy's 31, 81 overall. No, none of these defensive tackles are going to be long-term options, except for Byron Murphy. 27 overall, 22 years old. Sky's the limit with him. Very physically gifted. And then I saved the worst for last. Well, I guess second to last. Before we go there, we'll go to edge rusher Boye Mafe. If he can produce the numbers, he can certainly be a top-tier player. Sky's the limit. Nwosu, he's like 28. Derek Hall, I mean, we'd love to develop him, but it's not worked out too great for him. DeMarcus Lawrence, former Cowboy. He's a good Band-Aid fix right now because he is very good. He has been his whole career. But long term, that's just not going to cut it. Ernest Jones, I do quite like Ernest Jones. Played on the Rams his whole career up until this point. And he puts up numbers. You see in 2023, 14 TFLs, 4.5 sacks, 6 deflections, 127 tackles. Like that's a pretty nice season at linebacker. And then I went ahead and picked up David Long because this team didn't have a Sam. So he's 28 with star dev. I might take the star dev from him, but I mean, it shouldn't really matter. And then Rice, Tyrese, probably how you say that. Tyrese Knight, a UTEP. I really like this player. He's got some nice speed, some nice, not insane hit power, but 85 is not bad. So, what side of the ball do I think will be the best this season? Well, I think if the offense finds consistent quarterback play from one of these three quarterbacks, it could be the offense, but I think the O-line is just not built up enough to outperform what is a pretty decent defense year one. But again, a lot of veterans on this team, a lot of question marks. Also some intriguing young pieces. And of course, punter, Michael Dixon. He's not, like, insane, but he's pretty good for, all things considered. Jason Myers. Two veterans that are pretty old, but a kicker and punter doesn't really matter all that much. We'll figure out this, but I'm not sure what that order is going to be in specialists. So that is the team. We will play through the preseason in the next episode. Our first interview.
The dawn of a new season brings the dawn of a new era for this franchise. There's a new coach in charge, tasked with guiding this team to the peak of the NFL. For someone with dreams of reaching Canton, this first day and their first interview will set the stage for a career to come.
Coming to the league as one of the brightest defensive minds, where will your defense have the biggest edge? Physicality. I mean, if you know Cam Chancellor at all, if you've seen highlights, he brings the boom. The reason they're called the Legion of Boom. Now, right off the field, what area have you emphasized needing to be a big focus? I'd say player development. We want to rebuild the Legion of Boom. We're going to have to develop these young players we bring in. And obviously, he's going to prioritize safeties. again, we've got veteran pieces. Julian Love at this point's a veteran. The main thing to me is like, do these players fit what he wants as a coach? One more, coach. What will make you successful as a coach this year? And, Cam Chancellor, I'm trying to think. I feel like stopping the run, kind of basic, but I feel like if you can stop the run, we have better DBs than most teams can match up with receiver-wise because we have two very good corners. And that's hard to match up well against. Thank you for watching this inaugural episode. I get it's kind of basic to not see the gameplay yet, but we will see a lot of it. I just wanted to set the tone for this team. Hope you all are excited as I am, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.